Hey, boys and girls, welcome to another batch of customer fuckery brought to you by the Ranty Bastard on this week's Retail Rant podcast. And before we start the show, I need to address a couple of my fellow candidates in the Couch Party primaries. So, first of all, to Randy, my name isn't Gertrude. It's the Ranty Bastard. And yes, you may have given me the name, but I made it presidential. And to HAB from the Couch Party, I didn't kill Santa Claus in '68. No, you killed him with your disbelief at the age of 6. Now, we also have another candidate who's in the Couch Party crew that's going to be running for president and losing. So let's take a listen to some of the facts compiled by the Ranty News Network about Mandy and Cassie from the Mixed Feelings podcast. Mandy and Cassie from the Mixed Feelings podcast feel that now that they have joined the Couch Party crew, that they should run for president. Well, let's take a look at the facts on these two. First of all, they're in the mafia. I hate to tell you, but strong-arming people and breaking pinkies isn't going to shrink the national deficit. Second of all, they've already announced Vince McMahon as their vice presidential running mate. I mean, seriously, why in the hell wouldn't you have picked Stone Cold Steve Austin? He's ratings gold. Furthermore, they've already announced plans to kidnap Wheeler Walker Jr. and have him play his song Better Off Beaten Off at all of their rallies. So you have to admit, as Mr. Walker said, you're better off beaten off than voting for these two. So come this November, make sure you check the box next to TRB for president. This message brought to you by the TRB PAC, which actually has no money at all because they all work in retail and they are broke as fuck. So there it is. Now you have the facts about the mafiosos at the Mixed Feelings podcast. They shouldn't be your president. It should be TRB all the way in 2016. And if you want to get some more background information on the girls from the Mixed Feelings podcast, make sure you download the Couch Party app so that you can check out every single show that's available. Not only are you getting Mixed Feelings and the Retail Rant, but you're also going to get Couch Party, Miserable Retail Slave, the soon-to-be archives of the Drunken Dork, Nerd Rage Podcast, Project Archivist, and one of my new personal favorites, the Grime Lords. So download the app now for Android. Check it out. Again, it's all free. It's an amazing lineup. There's something for everybody in there. So that being said, let's go ahead and kick off this week's episode number 50 of the Retail Rant Podcast. And as always, be sure you wear someone else's name tag. If you're listening to this show right now, it's because you have experienced retail hell. The unoriginal bastard who thinks that because it doesn't scan, it must be free. The people that have no respect for a public restroom. The customers that think that they can come in and haggle like it's some kind of goddamn flea market. The corporate office that cuts payroll, raises tasks, and expects more sales. Oh, those things never happen. Bullshit. This is the Retail Rant Podcast, streaming directly to your ear holes in medium definition audio quality. Welcome to the 50th episode of the Retail Rant Podcast. As always, TRB, the Ranty Bastard, is here with you, ready to discuss and destroy all things retail. And a quick thank you. I got a nice little tweet this week. This was from @FedUpPhoneRep, who said that they created their Twitter account as an outlet for their retail rage, and thanks for inspiring them with the podcast. And you know what? I'm not really here for inspiration. When it happens, I think it's really cool. But everybody needs to have an outlet from just the sheer stupidity that corporations or bosses, customers, coworkers, all these associated things and people in retail put us through. So thank you for following the show. I hope you continue to enjoy it. And hell, maybe one day I'll have you on, because cell phone industry, I've never worked in it, and I'm sure it's an absolute just joy to deal with those people. But yeah, definitely not. I hate going into the store myself as a customer, and I'm nice about it. Shit. Now, I did pose a question out to Twitter earlier in the week, and I'm going to cover that a little bit later in the show. But I got into a bit of a conversation with a longtime supporter of the show. You can find them at putme_in_coach. And I can't remember exactly how it all started, but it was along the lines of some creepy customer trying to slip a phone number. And it made me think back to an employee I had that did this. And I promise to tell this story, so this one's for you, put me in, coach. I had this guy working for me. It's been some time. And so I had a regular customer. She's attractive, but she was also 17 years old. So she was very much like, a greasy cheeseburger on the menu when you're on a diet. You can look, but dear God, don't touch. So he thought it would be a good idea to slip her his phone number and said, hey, give me a call sometime if you ever want to party. And she took it in stride, smiled, walked out. Well, the next day when this person came into work, it was pretty obvious that somebody had done something to him. And we had no idea. We're literally just standing there with our eyes open. And at first our jaws were down, and then we started laughing as he uncovered the premise of what happened to him. And basically, through the night, he started getting text messages, picture messages, and all kinds of funny stuff. And it was all homosexual males attempting to hook up with him. Of course, he was a heterosexual male. And all through the night, he said he got nothing but phone calls and dick pics and all kinds of shit. And at first we were all just shocked, like, what the fuck? And then we all just started laughing at him because, fuck, what's not to laugh at? So, he's on his tirade and just, if I find out one of you motherfuckers did this, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm like, shit, dude, we got better things to do with our time. So a couple days later, this customer comes back in, says, oh, hey, what was so-and-so's mood the other day? And a couple people kind of raised an eyebrow, like, what? Why the hell would you ask that? For me, it clicked right away. This girl had gone and taken his phone number and plastered it on Craigslist in some kind of, I don't know, very explicit sexual fashion. And my God, he was getting text messages for, hey, come over and, suck my dick or do whatever. And it didn't stop for like 4 days. She flat out refused to take the ad down. And I figured it out. I kind of talked to her off on the side. I'm like, yeah, it was all fun and games, but seriously, like, he's ready to fucking kill somebody. He said, no, he'll learn his lesson to not give his phone number out to underage girls pretty soon. And, oh my God, it was probably one of the funniest things that has ever happened in the retail workplace to myself or to another. And it really did teach a lesson that be careful, guys, in particular, who you hand your phone number out to. Because a revenge play like that'll happen. And guess what? It's going to fuck up a night's sleep when you roll over and go, who the fuck is texting me at 2 o'clock? And you hit the button and there's just a dong sitting on your phone. Whoa, what the fuck? Because there's no going back to sleep. You're like, who in the fuck sent me this? You text them back, yeah, you got the wrong number. And you get back, no, you're the Craigslist guy, right? But be very, very careful if you go handing your phone number out to somebody, because they probably, I'd say 75% of the time, don't have any interest. If you're approaching them, I can tell you right now, they probably have no interest, But, oh my God. Just, and he wanted to show us the shit he was getting, and we're like, oh, no. That's for you, buddy. That's for you. You go ahead and save those on your phone, because I don't need to see that at all. But, oh man, be careful. Be careful who you go giving your phone number out to, especially if they're underage, because that'll get your ass thrown in jail depending on what you do or say in a text. Don't do it, all right? Ranty's advice for retail employees, like hitting on high school seniors. What the fuck is wrong with people? I know what the fuck was wrong with this guy. There's some kind of chemical imbalance in his brain, assuming that he had a brain. But so, yeah, I had to share that story because it occurred to me, of course, I hadn't told that one yet. And it's well worth telling, I think. So, we always deal with a pissed off customer for whatever perceived slight they have, or, we didn't meet the expectations that they somehow fucking came up with sitting on their couch at home. But, the corporate office, the supervisor, the manager, whoever, they'll tell you, don't respond, don't retort, don't say anything back, but, quote, kill them with kindness. Now, killing them with kindness is not what it sounds like. It's not like you're being overly nice and cheery and smiley and all this and that. That's what it looks like on the exterior. Okay? On the inside, you have just become a wall for some annoyed customer to throw shit at and see what sticks. And it's the worst fucking feeling sometimes because in exchange for a paycheck, you are checking your personal dignity at the door. Because the things that these people will say sometimes, and I've overheard some stuff, I've been behind people in a line and they say something just in the general vicinity, it can get pretty fucking gruesome. Shit where I'm thinking, I want to clock out, kick your ass, and then come back in. Because they'll hit below the belt. Because nobody can, I have yet to see a customer who can make an intellectual complaint and belittle me with words used properly or in a non-profane way. But I will tell you right now, a customer will motherfuck you. They will call you the dumbest son of a bitch they've ever seen. They will tell you you're a high school dropout, you couldn't finish college. They'll say, not, and those things aren't necessarily heinous, but they don't know you. They don't know us. They don't know what we're doing. I mean, there's a lot of us out there that are working full-time, part-time, whatever, 2, 3 jobs maybe, to pay for our own education just so we can get away from this shit. Just so we can go make a real paycheck and not something that's paying $8.50 an hour. Because God knows, once you get into an adult life, quote unquote, i.e., you've got your own place, you've got a car, you've got bills, responsibilities, $8.50 an hour ain't cutting it unless you're really willing to work about 80 hours a week. And most of us aren't. Not because we're lazy, but because, God damn it, you want 80 hours of my life for $8.50 an hour? What do you think I am? Just some fucking, dolt that you can hire off the street? I mean, that is what they think, because they think they can just hire anybody off the street to replace us after they've spent God knows how long training us, but whatever. And then the customers will come at you, and I have heard it. I've never said it. I will not say it in a retail setting at all. But I've heard people pop racial slurs at people. Like they prepared it. But it just rolled off their tongue based on sight. I've worked with people that have been called towel heads and the N-word and cracker. I mean, every slur you can think of. And the worst part of all the shit that they say is most of the time it's like a boxing match. You've got your guard up and they drop that right down to punch you right in the dick. And the ref the whole time has got his back turned checking out the girl in the front row. Hey, how you doing? Oh, something happened? Here, let me turn around. Oh, he's laying down. 1, 2, 3. They're always looking away. They don't take up our side simply because they're more concerned about what the customer feels, what the customer thinks. I'll tell you right now, some of the shit I have overheard in a retail store being directed towards an employee because they won't violate the return policy for somebody, or they won't mark something down because the corner has been opened on the packaging. I want 50% off. these are the people that they know they don't have the capability to speak to a manager. They can't process the things mentally to make a valid argument or discussion towards, quote unquote, a higher up in the store to get their way. So they just feel that badgering and belittling and just total destruction sometimes of quite possibly the lowest person on the totem pole, that's the way to go. And they may or may not get what they want, but for some fucking reason, they will walk out with their head held high, despite anything they may have just said. And that's the thing. They can call you anything, and you have to take it. And that's the fucked up part. Because we know that if we respond in any way, shape, or form, you get fired, and they get an apology. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't walk in anywhere and start dropping racial epithets without even thinking that something's going to happen to me. And it's rational thought. Again, another thing that customers don't possess. But they will come in and just lambaste people to try and get their way. And that's all they give a shit about. You know, I don't necessarily need to feel the feelings of the cashier per se, but I'm not going to belittle them. I'm not going to call them a dumb motherfucker, a high school dropout, or, you know, because she has the red dot for enlightenment. You know, I'm not going to call her a fucking towel head or anything like that. No. That's absolutely unacceptable in a retail setting. It's unacceptable in most settings. And you know what? There are people that tell terrible jokes. There are black people that tell white people jokes. There's white people that tell black people jokes. You know, Jews that tell German. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, when I'm standing at a cash register or any of you are dealing with a customer, it's not the fucking place. And the fact that corporate will only listen to their side fucking pisses me off. Because you have one person making a claim that, well, the employee told me to kiss their ass. They're not returning it. Well, yeah, but that was after you fucking called her every single thing under the sun that you could attach bitch to for 5 minutes straight. Yeah, I think she was pretty much entitled to tell you to kiss her ass and get out. She didn't even tell you to get the fuck out. She said, get out. Kiss my ass, get out. Plain and simple. Not very harmful. But imagine all the things that led up to that point. Because we've got thick skin as retail employees. We deal with this bullshit all the time. Thick skin. Once you finally get that needle through, there's going to be times that the composure is still held. And there's going to be times that you fucking explode. But they tell us, kill them with kindness. Why would I have to apologize to a customer because they didn't bring their receipt? Yeah, I need to return this item. I don't have a receipt. Oh, I'm so sorry that you don't have your receipt. Would a merchandise credit be acceptable? Nah, I need cash back. Oh, well, the return policy. Look here, you dumb motherfucker. I know what the fucking return policy. Whoa. I tried to kill you with kindness. Granted, I could have said, no ticky, no laundry. Fuck off. But no, I tried to be polite. I tried to be professional. And now all of a sudden I'm a dumb motherfucker. You know what? You're getting the manager, and I'm going to fill the manager in on everything you said before I even let them get within 50 fucking feet of you. Because I stood here and stonewalled you, but now you're hoping that the manager is going to bend the rules just for you, just this one time. Fuck you. God. Now, this is another time when you can determine a good manager from a shit manager. Customer's been blasting you for 3, 4, 5 minutes, calling you everything under the sun. Just pointed out your ethnicity, your intelligence, the fact that you have, this necklace on that means that, whatever. They've literally attempted to tear you down all the way down to square one. You go get the manager. A good manager will hear your side first, just to kind of get up to speed and find out what's going on. And in that case, the good manager will usually go, sorry, you don't have a receipt? Can't do anything for you. Have a nice day. Leave the building. Don't come back. Well, what the fuck does that mean? It means don't come back because I know and I heard the way you were speaking to her, and I will not accept that in this place of business. So you need to get out now and don't ever come back. And I've had a few of them that I've had one in particular that's gotten violent, didn't really care for that. And I restrained, and it's a story for another time. So I'll just leave it at that. Now I've seen bad managers where they come up and the employee tells them what's going on. They're like, hey, look, this guy over here, he's been cussing at me for the last 5 minutes. He wants to return an item. It's $300. He doesn't have a receipt. He wants cash. And what does the manager do? They go over and in the name of, quote, customer service, they give him $300 cash back. And then they apologize for the inconvenience known as the return policy that we've all been fucking trained on. Killing them with kindness doesn't fucking work. It might work on, I don't know, some little old lady, but these professional asshole customers, whether it be them returning something, trying to get something taken down 50%, these are professional asshole customers. And they have obliterated the idea that anyone in a retail setting can be killed with kindness. It just won't fucking happen. It's a lost art on these people. Because again, they will just go to any extent to try and get their way, and it is absolutely disgusting. So the next time you hear a manager tell you, oh yeah, next time just kill them with kindness, just tell them now, you know what? As soon as they say fuck, I'm coming to get you and you deal with that shit. Because guess what? I'm going to make sure I log off of that computer so that you have to log in. So when they go looking at that return and they go, why'd you give that individual $300 cash back for an item that we don't even sell? Guess what? Ain't your ass. No, sir. No. Now, speaking of returns, earlier this week, I posed a question out there to everybody, and it was that I wanted to hear the best lies that a customer has told you when they're trying to return something. Now, again, 90% of these returns, if not more, are going to be the non-receipt variety. Okay? Now, Sean William Brown, dear customer, we have gone back and forth with this one quite a bit. The old grandma is sick in Florida. She needs me to return this. Yeah. I have heard of a grandmother being sick in probably 36 of the 50 states so far. No Hawaii or Alaska yet. But somehow this is the universal pity play for a bogus return. And it's fucking horrible. So this part, of course, I use Twitter for this. And I'm going to give credit where credit's due, so you're going to hear a lot of Twitter handles. So make sure you check all these guys and girls out. Of course, we've had Heather on the show before. I before E, except after C. Just go back a few episodes. You'll find her. This one's always good. I need to return this, but I'm from out of town. And then they immediately give you an ID with a local address. Right. You're out of town. You're from out of town. Okay. Got it. In the clothing industry, I'm sure this one goes over real well. I've lost weight. These are huge on me. No, they probably aren't. You look about like a size 40 in women's. Now, the baristas have chimed in. So we've got at Bitterestretto, angry barista. My coffee is cold. Really? I just made it. You want a fresh pot? Actually, I put too much sugar. Can I get my money back? Admitting that you fucked it up. Admitting it. And still want your money back. I mean, they would have given you a free cup of coffee if you just kept your mouth shut. But you had to keep going. So it just shows how fucking stupid you really are. Let's see. This was one of my favorites that I have seen so far in this thread. At that Aubie kid, Mr. Jake Abuchon, woman said that her curling iron she bought was defective. It was still perfectly packaged in the box, and she had no receipt. So, you kind of figure, it's bullshit. So he said, yep, I told her she had to go somewhere else to return it, and she got upset and left it on the counter with me. Now, that's a funny thing because I will tell you right now, that is the retail equivalent of a guilty verdict. All right? Because if they come in and they've got an armload of product and they throw it down and they say, yeah, I need to return all this. Sorry, I can't return it. We don't even sell these brands that you have right here. When they just say, oh, well, fuck it. All right. And turn and walk out, just, you know what, follow them, get a license plate, everything you can. Because that one right there, they're going to be back. They're going to be fishing. They're going to be trying. But, oh my God, that is just ridiculous. How many times I've seen it too. And I've seen stuff come in and it's a brand from another store. And they swear up and down, I bought it here, I bought it here, I bought it here. I just don't have the receipt. Look it up in the system. I have it. You'll see it. Yeah, sure. I'll pull up your phone. Oh, look at that. You're not even in there. Sorry. And then they just walk out. They left this $200 item that they got to get that money so they can wire it to grandma in Florida for her treatment or whatever. Nah, guess grandma wasn't that fucking important. Oh, that's right. She's not sick, asshole. Lying sacks of shit. Now this one chimed in from the auto parts industry, from our friends at Auto Parts Slave at Retail Auto, and it was actually kicked off by at the Old Man 2084. He says, this alternator had a warranty, but I had to get it replaced somewhere else, so I need all my money back. And of course, our dear friend Slave jumped in. Oh, and I need the labor covered too. You could do that, right? And years ago, I spent time in that industry. That shit doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. I remember distinctly, like, my third day working in a store, and this guy came in, had a brand new, very expensive battery, perfect, pristine, looked like a bitch had been wiped down with Armor All, sets it on the countertop and says, hey, I need to return this. I wrecked my car. Oh man, damn, what happened? Well, I plowed into somebody. I T-boned them. So I just need to return this. And mind you, I was very early in my 20s, maybe 21 when I'm hearing this, 22 at most. And even then I could figure out, in a car, you rear-ended somebody or you hit somebody, the battery would not look quite so fucking pristine. So of course I called the manager over, and come to find out, this guy, habitual returns. So yeah, the lies continue. At Manager John. Oh, I forgot I had this Blu-ray in my purse. I was just holding it. Yeah, you mean the fire exit isn't the bathroom? Oops. I can only imagine, assuming that that's something like a electronics store, that's just absolute hell in places like that. Let's see. At Sanity Works, this device doesn't have a function I desperately need and have never needed it in the past 18 months since I bought it. Good point. Good point. At Mr. Graves, I just bought this toaster and it doesn't work. Of course, it's not a brand we ever carried and clearly had been used for years. Okay, if you're trying to return a toaster and you have breadcrumbs in the bottom of it, the answer is no. Because it works. It toasted the bread. Plain and simple. Longtime friend of the show, Patty's Mind at Patty C716. I got these 3 identical clocks as a gift. Who in the fuck gives a clock as a gift? Really? No. I mean, no. 3 identical clocks. Yeah, I got to make sure it's all feng shui. No, I highly doubt that. At Ashmash888. Now, again, much like my segment with Tara, talking about the cosmetics store, I will not likely experience this one. Lady wants to return a maternity bra. No receipt, says she never wore it. Me, I can see where you've lactated in the bra. Yeah, you definitely wore it. And the funny thing is, as I was reading that, and I processed it for a second, the only thing I could visualize was the old Chappelle Show Trading Spouses. And he's sitting there and he's running his finger through the bra and puts it on his tongue and just goes, ooh, titty residue. And if you haven't seen that episode, if you don't know what Chappelle's Show is, press pause, go find it, Netflix, iTunes, wherever, watch both seasons, and then come back to the show, because you are fucking missing out. Ugh. Or, the dirty pants. Can I have them discounted? She looks at the pants covered in snot and then looks at the kid with the runny nose. Answer is no. Answer is no. Let's see. Now, this one always kills me, because 90% of the time, when people buy something online and they return it, it gets credited back to whatever method they paid for it online. So you always get my aunt bought this online and she wants me to return it. Okay, got your receipt? Nope. Of course. Why did I even ask? Much like grandma's sick in Florida. So you tell them, hey, I can return it, but I'm going to have to pull up the order number and her name, and then it's going to go right back to the credit card or whatever she paid for online. Oh, no. She told me just to get cash. Well, again, I'm not rewriting the return policy for you, sir, so I will have to ask you to fuck off. The lies. It's just terrible. Let's see. Who else we got here? Yes. Sean William Brown checking in. Dear customer, I couldn't return this item 2 years ago because it was, quote, a haunting time in my life. Okay. Sure. Might hit a bad spot. Maybe you were locked up. Whatever. The return policy is 30 days. Sorry. I'm not playing the pity card. And the pity card is coming soon, because I've got one for you that I'm saving for the end. It's probably going to blow your mind. Let's see. Lady tried to return a purse covered in cat hair. First of all, we don't sell purses. Second, she said she bought it with all the cat hair. Right. Mags of Dragons at MYERIN Mama, my Aaron Mama, sorry, took me a second there, small print, fucks the ranty bastard up. Mom hasn't been able to return this since Dad died due to all the cruises she took. Now, the death in the family, you know what? It's a sad thing. It's an unfortunate thing. Unfortunately, though, it's a fact of life, so we have to face it. And the one thing you can't do is call bullshit on somebody for it, because the second you do that, I guarantee you it'll actually be a legit death in the family. So no matter how many times you hear that grandma or auntie or grandpa died and had 60 iPads in his house that he had just bought, don't call them on it. Just as politely as you can, quote, kill them with kindness, and tell them to fuck off, because it ain't happening. All the cruises she took, though, that's great. She's like, fuck him, he's dead. I'm going to go check out the Caribbean. Let's see. At Rants of Retail, cashier, Christmas lights. Apparently had bunion surgery 6 months ago and couldn't come sooner. Right. We got another grandma checking in at Hubble BM, Brian Hubble. Grandma bought these and she is on a limited income. I hate to tell you, but grandma's probably been on a limited income for quite some time, and certainly did not come in to buy $200 worth of some shit that you could easily fit in your fucking pockets. Right. Again, not buying it, dickwad. Now, let's see. Joe Flynn at Fenian 2153. This one's great. Let me retract before I read this. It's not great, because this stuff does happen, and I guarantee you somebody listening has had to deal with this. Our military fights overseas for our freedoms, for the freedom for, somebody to do a podcast saying fuck and asshole and shit, cunt, motherfucker all day long. And I appreciate and respect that. What will make me disgusted is when a customer tries to use that to do something in the store. Now, granted, it irks me when they just stick their hand up with a military ID in it, shove it 2 inches away from my ocular socket, and say, military? Like, okay, yeah, we do a military discount, but I don't need a fucking retinal scan right up in my face, okay? I can see that it says you served in the armed forces from a good 4 feet away, okay? I'm not that fucking blind. Sorry, side rant. Now, again, somebody's probably had to deal with this. Lost a loved one who was fighting for our country overseas. And you know what? It's a legitimate return. It totally is. And a lot of times you can tell by the demeanor of the person that it is something legit. But when these people come in and they say, oh, well, I'm military, you trying to say I steal? I'm just trying to say that you don't have a fucking receipt and I'm not changing return policy for you. I don't care how many times you got shot in the buttocks. And again, I respect the military, 100%. But Joe says, I bought this for my son and he did choke. He was killed in Iraq. Yeah, you got busted. Now, the coffee maker can't be plugged in. This one comes in from William at Will Duss. Coffee maker can't be plugged in. There's that little plastic idiot cap on the plug, and clearly an idiot was trying to use it, so he took the cap off. And the customer said, I didn't know about the cap. I don't trust it. Give me my money back. Again, almost every single one of these, I can guarantee you, there is 0 receipts involved, okay? So, now I told you there was a rather, disgusting, horrible, if true, very sad, but I doubt it, one to finish this off. So again, at Rants of Retail is checking in here and said that lady came in and says, my baby died, and so I canceled the baby shower and wedding since my husband left. Corporate said you'd need picture proof. Now, I can tell you right now, the corporate office is full of a bunch of fucktards. I mean, chock to the brim with fucking morons. But I have never, ever heard anyone say bring picture proof. Picture proof of what? Your husband fucking someone else? No. Second part. She was holding a folder of pictures with dead baby in it. There was a line like a mile back and she just fucking blew right past it. Because as a parent, that's nothing I want to see. As a human, it's nothing I want to see. As a retail worker, it's nothing I'm going to believe. And I definitely don't want to see it on top of my disbelief for your bullshit story. Said they kept offering me and the manager candy from the bottom of her purse. Now, of course, they're trying to sweeten the deal, get you to go along with it. But, my God, all I can say is holy fuck. Because of all the lies that I've heard, all the lies that you guys shared, that we just recapped, that has got to be the most troubling, disgusting, probably obviously visually appalling lie I have ever been told or heard of someone being told to try and do a return. Oh, I mean, there's a line drawn, and this bitch just blew right past it at like 85 miles an hour. Now, chances are, I'm going to say meth head needed a lot of money really fast to either get high or pay somebody off. And you know what? I said, you know what? I do meth. I'm way the fuck up here. Like stoners, they're down at the bottom. People who do cocaine, yeah, in the middle. Me, I'm a meth head. So I'm going to take it all the way to the top. And she certainly did with that story. So, cashier at Rants of Retail, thank you for bringing the retail rant to a disturbing close. Yeah. Again, holy fuck. So, but anyhow. So, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Retail Rant Podcast. And as you all know by now, we wrap it up in divine fashion. So next time, when you're standing at the customer service desk, the customer comes up with what you can estimate at a visual distance of 25 feet to be roughly $400 worth of product. And they just toss it down on the counter and tell you, hey, my grandmother bought all this stuff and she's really sick. I need to get the money back so that she can pay her doctor bills. Before you fake like you're fucking believing it, or even feign a little teardrop like, oh, it's so sad. I lost my granny too. What's your grandmother sick with? Right at that moment, when you see the wheels turning, and they haven't perfected that part of the lie quite yet, at that moment, you've got that little pen on a chain, possibly, if it hasn't been stolen yet, it probably has. But you got the pen on the chain. So as the wheels are turning, and they're thinking, is it leukemia? What did I say at the last place? Fuck, was it cancer? I can't remember. Before you jump over that counter, grab that pen and chain combo, wrap it around the neck, put a foot in their back, and pull back as tight as you fucking can. Make sure that you do us all one big favor and wear someone else's name tag.